And Bueller.
Bueller.
We're live. Awesome. Hey guys, welcome back. So we are doing another How to Type stream this evening. We got LOL Rockanisho, also known as Rocka, also known as Rockin' Rocka, and we got Mr. Mello here as well, who is basically our showrunner for this evening. Thank you for being our showrunner, Mr. Mello, and thank you,
Yep.
Rockin' Rocka, for just being our community advocate here. And I'm sure you'll be like, well, I feel like we should probably verify that one, just saying.
Are you sure, Chase? Are you sure?
Are you sure? I know,
It'll
right?
happen.
Yep. Nice hat.
All right.
Nice hat. All right, so let's actually get this going. Who's first tonight, Isaac? Because we're actually a little behind, so let's fire it up.
Okay. Well, first thing, so I was told to bring up that part 2 of y'all's interview. Is C.S. Joseph's coaching really worth it? It's going to go live tomorrow.
All right, cool. That's cool. I wasn't actually aware that that was going to be discussed, but fair enough. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. So first on the agenda is Jewel Kilcher. Catch up from last time.
Jewel Kilcher. All right, we're gonna do Jewel Kilcher, and let me see about getting an appropriate thing going on here. So let's move this over here. Get this going over here, and we are capable people at IT. LOL. Maybe. Just possibly here. Okay, cool. And let's see, Jewel. Helps if I spell Kilcher interview. All right. Jewel talks about childhood memories with Dan Rather or Horatio. Want a better Jewel Kilcher, 22 minutes with Jewel. All right. Well, we'll try. Let's see what's here. We'll try childhood memories and hope to God that actually is a thing.
Today we're at Borders.
Hello, today we're at Borders. I don't want to talk about Borders. I'm not that cool. All right, so let's give you the link here, gents. There you go. And
Cool.
let's skip to. All right, let's see. 34 seconds in. All right, 34 seconds in.
Cool.
All right, here we
All
go.
right, locked and loaded.
Let's fire it up. Here we go.
That defied genres. I didn't really know it at the time, but I loved people like Brenda Lee or Linda Ronstadt, people that just had great songs. Then I started to fall in love with songwriters. Merle Haggard, who wrote 51 of his own 54 number one hits, which I don't...
Oh, I started to fall in love with songwriters, talking about other people's songs, other people's things, LOL, SENI, gotta say. I'm going to do what other people are doing because I'm not an original
Loretta
person.
Lynn wrote The Pill, which was revolutionary. I mean, she just talked about her life in such
This
an
is
obvious
so revolutionary.
truthful way. It was shocking to me that you could do that, as well as others like Joni Mitchell and Bob
And would it
Dylan
be
and Neil
SE
Young.
or TE because she's name dropping people?
She is name dropping people as well. That's a good point, Mr. Mello. We'll definitely put that down for TEFI. I mean, when I'm just looking at her, I'm like, hold on, this is definitely SFP and NTJ Quadra. It's kind of like my first impression looking at her, but let's definitely look a little bit more.
All my influences. I was raised on a ranch. I was raised on a ranch in Alaska. My dad's a cowboy. I was raised in a saddle barn, believe it or not. I get to tell my kids that one day. I'm very excited. We had a coal stove for heat.
We get to tell my kids that one day. I'm really excited. That's really a TE statement, but that's also an NISE statement. I get to tell. I get to tell. I get to tell. Okay, so think about that. I get, that's NI, to tell, SE. Okay, I'm going to tell, my kids one day. That is an SENI statement. Okay, but then also she has this emotional reaction to the fact that she was raised in a saddle barn because oh, that impacts my status. So that's a TEFI statement as well. So kind of get it out in that direction. To kind of differentiate. Well, let's keep going here. I'm at 1 minute 23, gentlemen. 1 minute 23.
123.
Ready?
All right, and firing it up, and now.
We actually picked our own coal out of the veins in the bluffs. We only ate what we could kill or can, basically. We lived in such a remote place that it's actually, Homer, where the town I grew up in, is the farthest west you can drive in the entire
Just
United
initiated,
States.
didn't
It's
she?
called the
A
End
new
of the
point?
Road.
She did initiate. Yes, she did. Definitely. Let's take that down. Initiating, for sure. Oh, she kind of seems moving. She's more, she kind of seems more movement than control to me, honestly. It's kind of what my feel is so far.
Yeah, she's kind of just overrun this entire interview. Like, I don't think I've
Exactly.
heard the guy question her like more than a couple times.
Yeah,
and she's just talking solidly.
just kind of dominating it as it goes. You know what I mean?
And
Now,
so
they're
my house,
talking
our
about
ranch was
memories.
beyond-
Does that necessarily mean it's SI from her perspective?
Well, because that would be the case, except she's constantly talking about what we did or what my father did or what my siblings did, you know, or what I and my siblings did. It's a shared experience, which is extroverted sensing. She's remembering the totemic memory of the past. It's not more like, well, I did this, I did that, I. You know, the SI users all about I. Where the SE users is like, or like SI is I did, right? Whereas SE users it's we did this, we did that.
So you could almost say it's like a third person perspective as far as the memory goes.
Exactly.
Right.
Third person memory. Third. That's actually a really good TE way of putting it. We're gonna put that down right here. Raka says third person memory. Equals SE.
SE.
Perfect. So cool. Let's do it again. I'm at 143. In 3, 2, and 1. Go.
On that, and so you had to walk 2 miles just to get to the cabin where I was raised, and it was very rural. And it's actually open range up there still, no fences, and you can push all your cattle into these open grasslands in the summer to let your hay grow. So my favorite childhood memories are of, you know, riding horses up and sleeping under the stars overnight with all the cattle bawling and my
Riding horses out, sleeping under the stars at night. That's a very extroverted sensing approach. She's definitely SFP, NFJ, or NTJ Quadra. Very concrete. There's nothing really intuitive there going whatsoever. And she's talking about it in a pragmatic way. I mean, you can do this if you were living in the wilderness at the time. You can do that. Like, it's very independent, you know, oriented. And she's not really describing a system. She's describing what you can get out of such of an experience. So it's very interest-based as a result. Mm-hmm. So anyway, this leads me to understand that Jewel Kilcher is an ESFP, just right off of that. So based on everything that we're seeing, for sure. All right, folks, just so you guys know, we're accepting Super Chats right now, and highest bid for Super Chats is the one that we're doing. And we still have high bids from last week, and we're going through those right now. So, Mr. Mello, what's the next on the list?
So from last time, we have Pamela Anderson.
Pamela Anderson, okay.
Yep. Looks like next is Howard Stern at a third of the price that Pamela Anderson has.
All right, so we'll do Pamela Anderson and we'll do Howard Stern. Okay.
Cool.
Unless someone wants to bury Mr. Howard Stern, then we'll definitely consider that. So
looks like he was just buried by Connor Tobin with Mick Jagger.
Mick Jagger, awesome. All right, so Pamela Anderson, then Mick Jagger, then. Okay.
All right.
Yep. All right, so we're going to do blue ink on this one. So Pamela Anderson. Also, if you gentlemen like Raka, if you know like who's going to be coming next, if you could find a cool video in the meantime or whatnot that you think would be good to go, we can do that. Okay. So it's Pamela Anderson interview.
Mello, who do we got lined up after this?
Let's see.
After Pamela Anderson, right now it's Mick Jagger.
Okay, so Pamela Anderson with David Letterman is who I grabbed right now. So let's see here. And I'm dropping it into the channel we have right there. And I'll let you know the starting number we're going to be at here. Let's see. Let's start it at 19 seconds. Starting at 19 seconds. In 5,
ready to go.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you, handsome.
How you been?
It's been a while.
It has been a long time.
Handsome. Is that affiliated?
About a year?
6 of us.
That's very. It's kind of a label. Honestly, it's kind of more of a. It's really as a TE label. It's like an SETE approach. So I'm gonna put one down for NISE TEFI, but also you could almost say it's like pragmatic, but I'm not gonna go there. We'll see. It is initiating though, so definitely initiated with him for sure. Let's go through this.
I don't know. How long ago was it?
I don't know. Oh, how many husbands ago was it?
Exactly.
How many husbands ago?
So I know when I've done things.
No.
like
Can I be
summer, fall,
serious with you
winter.
here for a second? How many times have you been married? You've been married 4 times?
I like weddings, just the marriage part.
All right, let's count them off. Who are you married to?
I like weddings. It's just the marriage part that sucks. Okay, that's FITE. Oh my goodness. And then that's actually kind of an interest-based statement as well. Throw that in there.
Who was your first husband?
So we're at 53 seconds, gentlemen. Hitting play and now.
Tommy.
Tommy, right. Second?
Bob.
Bob. Kid Rock Bob, right. Number 3.
Oh, okay. So
Let's talk.
that was would that be FETI? Because she could have name dropped him there, but she didn't. She went by his actual like less known name instead of being like, oh yeah, I was married to Kid Rock.
Yeah, but the thing is that it could also be an FITE statement because she's embarrassed at the same time. So you could also argue embarrassment from an FITE standpoint. So because of that, both statements kind of cancel out each other. So I can't really like say for sure either way. So I move on to the next.
Right.
One. Yeah.
Right.
But good catch for sure. That's a good catch. Let's keep going. 1 minute 5 seconds and go.
Talk about it.
Really? You can't talk about it at all?
No.
Really?
It was that was just a friend.
Just a friend. And number 4. Number 4 again?
All right, Mr. Jose Santana, why are we dictating our start-stop times? The reason is because we don't have virtual audio cables set up for me to just pipe the sound directly to Mr. Rocca and Mr. Mello. So in order to make sure that everyone's following along, at least those who's actually joining me within the stream, I'm having to dictate the specific minute and second. So that's why we're doing it. So I apologize that that's annoying to the audience right now. Until we get virtual audio cable configured properly, we're going to just do it this way for now. So, all right, here we go.
You been married 4 times?
Hitting play on 1 minute 18.
Well, I've been married a lot to each one.
What?
No.
You think
no,
you get married
that's it.
again?
Well, I thought you gave me a proposal.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
Yeah. That's why I came.
Yeah, you'd kill me.
I thought you were going to make a proposal, and that's why I came. Oh, Railgun just showed up. She's giving me a wave. She's really lovely tonight. Okay, so I'm going to hit play again, 1 minute 31.
Yes.
But now,
Look at how she's just fidgeting a lot in her chair. Definitely, and she keeps initiating a new point. So definitely give another initiating movement. She was making some informative statements that really wasn't direct. So inform initiating movement. She's definitely a starter type, like hands down. And so far, it seems like SENI TEFI. It's gonna be funny. We're probably gonna have another ESFP on our hands, but let's hopefully that's not the case. But I also want to verify that with another interview. So Rocca, can you find up a backup interview just in case?
Yep.
Because I don't want to get like 2 ESFPs in a row and then be like, oh, Mr. C.S. Joseph, you're being like biased because you just typed 2 of the same people at the same time. So I want to have like a verification interview on the side just to double check. You know. So.
Okay, working on it now.
All right, cool.
Now the fidgeting could be movement, but would someone with control, if they were uncomfortable, could that also produce fidgeting?
It can, but the thing is, the amount that she's doing it, like, honestly, I would say that this format's more of an, more of in her element. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, expressive, exactly. So, let's see. Again, we're gonna look at another interview just in case to verify. So,
cool.
Backup interview is locked
well,
in.
you look lovely, by the way.
Thank you.
Now, I heard you were living together with Tommy again. Is that true?
Oh, geez, you get the fun questions. Well, I'm living there. He's on tour. We get along better that way.
I see.
yeah, I am living there, but he's on tour. We get along better that way. So let's. An SENI statement. Oh my gosh. And that's pragmatic. Very independent of her to say. And that's also a concrete statement stating what is. So far looking like an artisan, but let's keep going.
But is there still a spark there that might?
There's plenty of sparks.
Yeah. But do you think you might get back together? Is it a possibility that you would marry him again?
Well, you never know.
Yeah.
You never know. Smiling.
If you had to, like,
that's so informative. You never know. Informative. Okay. Wow, did I just lose like the rest of my word informative here on my whiteboard? Let's add that in. Informative. Got it. Okay. Gonna be hitting play again on 2 minutes and 6 seconds. Let's go.
Percentage, what are we talking about? 30-70, 40-60,
A bottle of
50-50?
champagne.
Really?
Bottle of champagne.
Wow.
Well, it'd be, like my mom said, if you're going to be with a jerk, be with the father of your kids. It's easier.
If you're...
Wow, my mama says if you're going to be with a jerk, it's better if you're with the father of your children. It's easier. Wow, that's an SENI statement if I've ever seen one. My goodness. Wow. And still seeing movement initiating. I'm going to switch interviews right now, though. So, Rocco, what do you got for us?
I got her on Ellen.
All right,
Ellen,
good.
I think, has a better job at making her guests a little more comfortable
How many of you
than
have
that
had a
host.
job,
Agreed.
In my
wake up
experience.
and you say,
Agreed.
oh, I don't want to go to that
Let's get down to it.
Now you're here, and you and I. You have to cover.
So I hear that you almost didn't
Any
make
certain
it here. What happened?
timestamp?
Yeah,
starting at the
2
beginning?
seconds. I'm just 2 seconds in. Fire it up. So, and hitting play now.
I know, jury duty.
Oh, really?
What is that? I mean, yeah.
I
have to go
know,
in. It's
jury
very
duty.
scary.
Did
I felt
you-
like I was going to jail or something.
Felt like I was going to
guilty.
jail or
And-
something. Okay. All right, that's informative. Very, very informative. And then that's also FITE, and then
She is so movement in
SENI.
this interview.
So movement. Like, holy smokes. Yeah.
Had you
keep
done
going.
jury duty before?
No,
I
never.
hadn't either.
You
And
haven't?
how'd you get out of it?
Well,
You haven't?
Initiating.
SE? You haven't? Initiating an SE? You haven't? All right, cool. Let's keep going.
I just called in. They tell you to call in the night before, and
18
I didn't have to do it
seconds.
today. Thank God.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness.
And it was they told you what the trial was and everything?
No. I mean, I don't really know. I still don't know. I have to call in tonight. But I don't think I'd be a very good juror, if you're not vegetarian. Guilty.
Really?
Wow, I don't think I'd be a good juror, if you're not a vegetarian. Guilty. Okay, that's TFI, and that's informative and initiating as well.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say.
Pretty obvious this woman is an ESFP. Okay, there you go. Pamela Anderson, the ESFP. All right, cool. All right, what's next, gentlemen?
All right.
All right.
So Mick Jagger, is that still what's up next? Okay. I got Mick Jagger and Keith Richards on the blues. I'll pipe up right now.
Perfect. Good old Mick Jagger. We'll put him in green ink, for which is short for hombre verde. Hombre verde is Spanish for green man, but it's actually colloquialism in Espanol. Hombre verde, it actually means dirty old man, so I think the color green is appropriate for Mick Jagger. TBH.
And looks like we can start this interview right at 0 seconds. They get right into it.
0 seconds. All right, firing it up. The ageless Mick Jagger himself. Oh, with my amazing commercial. Love it.
I want to talk about your
All right, here we go.
because,
Firing it up.
I mean, I think a lot of people forget where, how you guys really started.
Yeah.
I asked this question to Pete Townsend a few years ago when we were talking, because it always amazed me that sort of polka dotted across Britain were these groups of young men who all at the same time seemed to discover the American blues.
Yeah.
What do you think happened?
The American blues is like, yeah.
I mean, when I was thinking about it, yes, it is pretty strange to think about it, but there was a lot of visiting blues artists, and there was only 1.5 TV channels, and they put them on these TV channels. So that was your introduction. So you saw like film clips of old.
All right, so that was your introduction. He's actually explaining a system. So this man is systematic right now, based on what I could see so far, for sure. And he seems direct to me. So 44 seconds in. I'm going to hit play at 44 seconds.
Blues artists like Lead Belly, who are still alive. You got visitors that came repeatedly, like Sonny Terry, Brownie McGee.
Is that how you found?
Yeah, I think Sonny Terry and Brownie McGee was the first.
Okay, Sonny Terry, Brian McGee, that's an SENI statement, for sure, SENI. But he's still being systematic. He keeps continuing explaining the system as the process to how it works, whatnot. I'm going to mark one down for direct because I'm just not seeing anything informative. He's just straight saying it straight. So, see how that goes.
These people I saw when I was really young on TV. Big Bull Brunsey was another one.
And what did you think when you saw him?
Well, I thought it was different, So it's different kind of music and different approach, different feeling of entertainment. It's different kind of entertainment than the kind of pop singers that were on TV.
I asked Mick this, and I've actually asked a bunch of your contemporaries this question because it's one of the things that really fascinates me about what happened.
No, they just switched. Switched on us.
All right, let's get another one going. Let's get another one.
Yep. Working on it now.
I wonder if his integration is there because of his age.
It definitely. It's always harder to type people who are, way more. Mick Jagger interview on Charlie Rose from 2002. Okay, that sounds good.
We started out
Let me get the
with
link for
100
you guys.
acres of rented farm ground.
All right, sounds good.
Oh yeah, I too can mute ads. That's nice. Charlie Rose, and then I'm gonna get you guys the link here, and I'm gonna hit that there. All right, cool.
That entire time, though, to me, he seems a lot more responding.
Yeah. I was gonna go with the direct responding movement approach more so than the direct initiating control because he seemed a lot more movement. Oh, we got a lot of extra sound coming in from somewhere.
Yeah.
Is that one of you guys?
Yeah, Ronka, is that your mic?
Might have been my mic. Yeah, I got it.
Went way up. So I definitely think Mick Jagger's direct responding movement, but we'll have to verify that. So is this guy like an INTJ? That would be really interesting, but we'll see. Or maybe an INT or an ISTP would probably be more likely.
Nova says your whiteboard is showing up, but your videos are not showing up anymore.
My whiteboard is showing up. Oh, okay. Hold on. There we go. Got it. Is that better? Yeah, seems to be better. Cool. And
okay.
There we go.
All right, and it's 3:10 to get actually into this interview.
All right, 3:10. Got it. Cool. Moving to 3:10 now. I'm gonna hit play as soon as I get there. Hitting play now.
Oops, sorry about that.
Yes, SE Demon. It happens. All right, let's do this. Hitting play.
Gleason's hotel for a conversation during a break in the 40 Lakes tour.
Have you always wanted to be in the movies? To be involved in films?
Well, yeah, because I read this old interview I did when I was like 19 years old, and it says, what are your ambitions? Is to make a movie before I die, which is, I guess, accomplished. So I think, I think it was just one of those things that you just did. When I was a kid, being a pop singer, if you were a pop singer, you made one bad movie.
Yeah, you got one.
You made a really bad rock movie, and
that's an SENI statement.
I thought that's what I would do.
After performance, you said, "Gee, I may do one of these."
Super
a year.
responding.
Well, I'd like to have done, but then whatever.
He's a lot more movement in this interview as well. He's kind of flying through the topics.
CIFE
for like 2 years, and also you don't get very good roles. So, in the
very concrete.
Tour, you don't get very good roles
because you're not out there looking for them. I mean, you didn't have
it's a very competitive business. Acting, there's hundreds of thousands of people trying to act.
It's a very competitive business. Acting. That's SE statement. There's thousands of people trying to act. SE statement for sure. Saying as a matter of fact, TIFE as well. He continues to be super movement. He's very direct. And I don't know, like the systematic just kind of like went away a little bit there because he's like, this is what you get out of it when you're going in this, movie direction. Kind of seems like it pulled it out. I'm going to have to I could almost argue ESTJ versus ISTP, but it's mostly on the ISTP side. is kind of what I'm seeing right now.
Yeah.
He's definitely movement oriented. His systematic probably came out from a cognitive transition being in the shadow. So let's look for more interest based statements.
And spending years of their life and killing to get parts, it's not always that easy.
Well, 5% of the actors alive today are acting.
Exactly. And what do they say? There's 100,000 women in LA in one part.
Yeah, in one part.
One role, yeah.
So, it's not funny if you're in that profession because you can die.
I'm laughing, but
Well, that was initiating around 4 minutes 36 seconds. That was initiating because he cut off Charlie Rose like twice and initiated completely new points. That was initiating for sure. So
okay, makes sense.
Very, very pragmatic. So let's keep looking for initiating versus responding and control versus movement for sure. It's like, because I can argue ESTP and ISTP right now pretty easily, and I'm trying to like eliminate ESTJ completely, but let's figure out which STP he is.
It's not.
So I'm hitting play on 4 minutes 37 seconds now.
An easy profession, and there's a lot of out of work bits, and there's a lot of rejection, and there's a lot of disappointment, and people spending a lot of time training and doing very interesting things, and then the height of their career or their excitement for that year is a walk-on with an arm. I mean, I know a lot of people like that, and
I know a lot of people like that. It's a TIFE statement. And then he's talking about what other people are doing consistently in that role. That's definitely... So he's definitely STP NFJ Quadra. We got that down pretty hard on that, for sure. So we're good on that. So we know his Quadra. And he's definitely concrete. He's not making any what-if statements whatsoever. Definitely... So based on that, we know he's an STP. It's just which STP he is. So now we need to really understand, okay, is this guy more initiating or is he more responding at this point? Because
movement or control as well.
Yeah, if he's movement or control, exactly. So let's look on the interaction styles. Just zero in on the interaction style at this point. So we're going to hit play on 5 minutes and 2 seconds. Let's go.
But whatever, that's your choice.
But a couple of years ago, you set up Jagged Films.
Mm-hmm.
You were a producer for Enigma.
Mm-hmm.
And then this comes along. I mean,
yeah, and I did this, and this was just a role that just came to me. I wasn't particularly went out to seek the role. It was just...
Oh, this is a role that just kind of came to me. I didn't really actually go out to seek the role. That's kind of a lower NI than a higher NI, so like an NI inferior versus NI child. So again, very direct. That seems more control oriented on that side. So there's more of an argument towards NI inferior as a result. So we'll see.
Yeah, because he seemed to not be sure if that was something he wanted.
Exactly. So let's because remember that's a pessimistic NI. That's not an optimistic NI. So let's keep moving forward and seeing what it looks like. So
the director just called me up out of the blue and just said, "Would you like to do this role?" So,
and you read it?
So I read it, and
so the director called me out of the blue, and he's like, "Okay, would you like to do this role?" That's more of like an SI nemesis standpoint as well. So I'm gonna have to put like 2 points down for NI inferior. Let's see if we can get like NI child represented here on the board, and see if we can get anything NI child related for that.
And you always read it and you go, yes, but no, So, but he was great. George.
Yes, but no, and yes, he was great. That was an initiating statement. That was not responding. He initiated 2 additional new points within the same sentence, essentially.
Hickenlooper, the stranger named director, just an old American family. But anyway, the bits of the role were great, but they're not all suited to me. But the fun thing was he was very cooperative, and he wanted me to give a lot of input into how to change the role to make it suit me, and how to take out some scenes and write others.
Super initiating at 6:30.
And then there's a scene where, for instance,
we'll skip to 6:30
in hospital or something. So I said, "Well, this is a bit depressing." So then we took that out and put in. We substituted that scene in a few days while the movie was being prepared or shot.
I'm at 6:21.
Was it a satisfying experience for you?
Cool.
Yeah, It was, because it was really quick, and I didn't have a lot of time to think, and I didn't have a lot of time to write backstories, and I didn't have a lot of time to get worried, and I just did it, really.
Yeah, I just did it. Yeah, not get worried. Yeah, that's also initiating as well. Way more. And if you notice, like, compared to the other movement types that we saw, like we saw Pamela Anderson and Jewel Kilcher, for example, both of them are very movement, but he's very stoic with how he's sitting down and like with his body language and whatnot. So that's also another point for control. So direct initiating control. So bottom line, folks, Mick Jagger is an ESTP. There you go. Cool. What's next?
So that movement we were saying would be outside of his ego then?
Definitely. So that would be ISTJ shadow movement, which does happen.
Okay.
And also INFJ subconscious is also movement. So like ESTPs can be pretty movement compared to like ISTPs, which have like a lot more controlling sides, because ISTPs could actually appear stoic when they're cognitive transitioned. So what's next, gentlemen? What's next? What's on the bidding list?
Looks like.
Can you call out the whole list for everybody, and then like also what their price points are that we have right now too? Our current list. Yeah.
Okay, so from biggest donation to smallest, Lindsay DeFranco at $10, Howard Stern at $9.99, Tamera Mowry-Housley at $4.99, Black with a 6 instead of a B at $2, Tony Lamy at $2, Frank James at $2, Hannibal Burris at $1.99, and it looks like someone just made a super chat of 50 pesos for Terrence McKenna.
Okay.
But
For
that
now, I got the
amounts
Lindsay
to 50
interview.
pesos is $2.6.
$2.6. All right, cool. Thank you for the conversion. So who's next on the list, Mr. Mello?
That would be Lindsay DeFranco by Ascent.
I dropped the interview in the chat for you guys already.
All right, awesome.
Cool.
Lindsay DeFranco. Cool.
Listen up. The soap you shower with?
Cancer ads.
Yep. Gotta love the cancer ads.
Looks like 15 seconds.
All right, so we want to go into 15 seconds on this interview then? Okay.
Sounds good.
So getting there right now, a conversation with, and here we go now.
Lindsay DeFranco.
That's me. I do know you very well.
You think
more
so?
Than, yeah, a lot
you think
of
you know me more than me?
I think a lot of the conversations we have, my mom's here. I was talking to her about this earlier, about how some of the things you say, I know why you're saying.
What do you mean? What does that mean?
Projecting. Well, should we talk about this more?
Sure. Oh, wait, this morning? Oh.
Should we talk about this a bit more? Oh my gosh. Interesting. Install ad block. I mean, with what? Like, give me like an actual product here to install ad block properly. You know what I'm saying? I'll do it. No problem. Okay, so wow, she seemed pretty initiating there, but we'll see.
Oh wow, is that? I was gonna say that the way that I wanted to start off a conversation with, obviously we're gonna be talking to people I'm less familiar with, catching up, but I thought it'd be fun to open up with the person that knows me the most. And apparently we're gonna talk about our almost fight this morning.
Was it a fight?
Yeah.
No. Do you want to talk about it?
I mean, you brought it up, so apparently it's a sore spot.
So now we're really building it up, and it was really not that big.
That's most of our fights.
But here's the thing. We filmed a podcast before, what was it, like 6 months ago? It was before I had wavy hair, so I think it was 6 months ago.
I like that.
It was before I had wavy hair. That's an SI statement. That's an SINE statement for sure. Okay.
That's how I do my timeline.
Before wavy and after wavy.
Says an
It was
a few moments later.
Say again?
So the interesting thing is she says an SE statement a few moments later.
Okay. Well, I'm at 1:10. Let's keep going.
Before wavy, but after bangs.
Okay. Yes, definitely after bangs. But this morning.
But this morning, so we were talking about last time. So we filmed a podcast before, and I never really knew why Phil didn't post it.
Well, I didn't post it because half the stuff we talked.
I never knew why Phil didn't post it. Oh gosh, that's a TIFE statement and an SENI statement. That's getting interesting. So let's keep going. 126.
About wasn't relevant 2 weeks later.
But apparently this morning it was because I didn't hold a conversation.
Oh, but apparently this morning it was because I didn't hold a conversation. Well, that's a TI retort if I've ever heard one. And that's movement in response. Like, come on. Oops. Oh, come on. Let's not break the freaking whiteboard, please.
I thought.
I thought definitely TIFE for sure. Movement. She seems initiating. She initiated her point. Form initiating movement. So starter type. TIFE user is a starter type. So it looks like based on that she is ENTP or ESFJ. One of the two. We'll have to confirm which one she is, folks. Hitting play in 1 minute 32 seconds now.
Well, which I thought the podcast went really well.
No, it flowed really, really well.
Really? So what was the problem this morning?
Well, the problem was, like, I think part of it involved a spat between PewDiePie, so Felix, and
Lily Singh. Yeah.
And I was like, I think this is, I think part of it was like, I think this is the media just blowing the situation out of proportion. And then Felix spent the next 2 weeks just like making fun of her. I was like, never mind. I just seemed like a big idiot.
Right.
So I was the problem, like most things in our relationship.
So you were projecting this morning. Are we admitting this or no?
I thought.
So you were projecting this morning. Are we admitting this or no? That's an SENI statement. So
yep.
That's definitely an SINE statement for sure. Oops. Let's bring that back. Awesome.
It was just like helpful husband advice. But actually, I feel like this leads into. So I had.
Oh, change the subject.
I had questions that I want.
Oh, change the subject. Okay, it's also initiating. Holy smokes!
To bring up, and then I thought another fun way to do it before getting to some of those would be to open it up to my audience. So I asked people on Instagram questions about me, since you are an expert and shit talker when it comes to Philip DeFranco. What is the best and worst thing about Phil is the first question we're going to open up with. Let's open up with best so that I can fill the ego before you chop it down.
Well, one of the things that really threw me off about our conversation this morning was that, no, this is good. This is the best thing about you.
Okay.
No, this is good. Formative initiating movement. This is the best thing about you. That's TIFE. And gosh, SINE again. Like, no, you're gonna want me to say this. You know, I don't know. It just kind of seems more ENTP-ish to me.
So I got somebody saying at about 16:20, we start to see some different behavior out of her. Do we want to check that out?
We'll do that. We'll go to 16:20. Awesome. 16:17, hitting play.
Reporting on a story and they don't call a lie a lie. So if someone is trying to promote this false narrative, we all know who I'm talking about. If you're trying to...
We all know who I'm talking about. Ooh, nice. That is a TEFI statement for sure. We all know who I'm talking about. That's also SENI. Cool. So she's cognitive transitioning. Okay, so, I mean, that would happen when you're like on a podcast with your husband. So we'll see how that goes.
To promote a false narrative, you don't...
Yes, this woman is his wife. Yes.
See, and it's changing. It is changing,
Sure.
but for the longest time, you did not see the press, the media, journalists calling a lie a lie.
Ooh, you did not see, that's an SE statement, the press calling a lie a lie. That's a TIFE statement. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. And that's also direct. So see how that goes. So there's got some definite cognitive transitioning going here. This is pretty fun. I like it. Oh, if you remember earlier in the beginning of the podcast, she was talking about, my hair wasn't wavy enough for this, instead of like, okay, cool. That's also another SENI statement to add to that. Going from there.
So what we could have been seeing is Essie imitating Phil DeFranco, basically. In the beginning of that, she was basically making fun of him.
Yeah, definitely. So what we're seeing is that she literally. So what you're saying is that, oh, okay, We're mocking him with ESFP subconscious, then cognitive transitioning back with ENTP unconscious, and then boom, I'm in my ego now all of a sudden, is what you're saying. So are we looking at like an INTJ, ENTP golden pair? Because this guy, he's an ENTP, and he's cognitive transition into INTJ for the sake of his audience, basically, and she's like trolling him at the same time. So, I mean, it's kind of obvious like why they got together, you know what I'm saying? But well, have a backup interview just in case, Raka, as well for this, because I want to be able to verify her again with her not talking to her husband. That would be nice, because when you're talking to someone this close, especially in a public setting, it forces cognitive transitioning so easily. So we're gonna keep going, seeing some cognitive transitioning here. So let's hit play again at 1642.
Sure, they would say
you have
like
to
someone.
say it's a lie.
Yeah, someone says this, or. And then you saw, like, I think...
You would have to say it's a lie. That's another SE statement, and that's an FITE statement. So she's like, you have to do this, you have to do this. It's your duty to do this, and you're not, you know. And she's being really direct about it in that statement as well. So that's cool. It's nice. We actually get to see a really an actual cognitive transition within the same, you know, podcast and see different sides of the mind playing out. I think it's pretty cool. Let's keep going.
So it's like insert blank person says this.
Yeah.
Or and then there was like the evolution was
insert
like
person lied and said.
He's like, and then he's trying to initiate with her, and she's like responding first, like, yeah, no, actually, I'm going to respond to that. No, thank you. Like, no. No. You can't get that point out. I don't feel good about your point, FITE. Like, no. No. Before you get your initiation off, I'm going to continue responding from where I was before. No.
Blank. Like, you have to say what's not true. You can't just be like, well, they said this, and I don't know. It's not true. I don't know. Yeah, you can. We've been conditioned to think that finding the truth is hard. It's
Phil.
I'll take a look.
It is a dance. Thank you, Jacob Chattel, for if I said your name wrong, I'm sorry. But yeah. Okay. How does she know? Because, so Dare Dog 101, look at this. Like, we know she transitioned because she was informed initiating movement, but now in her current interaction, she's actually direct responding movement, going like back and forth. So this is showing you there's a difference between, starter / finisher transition, basically. We're literally seeing it right before our eyes as a result of this interview right now. So just to kind of give you guys an idea of like how it's going, over and whatnot. And no, this is not an ESFJ. Like, I'm sorry. This is not an ESFJ. No. Like, no. All right, hitting play 1705.
Not. If you know how to find the truth and you know how to search properly and think critically, you can find the truth. And so if you're not calling out lies for what they are and you're conditioned to think, well, I don't know, is there a truth? Is there an objective truth? Sure. There is. There always is.
Yeah. That's a TIFE statement if I've ever heard one. So TIFE for sure. Cognitive transitioning. Oh.
I'm frustrated.
Which is, okay, so that kind of works perfectly into a transition, because I was going to go into this whole thing about...
Wait, keep going. I need more time.
No, okay, well, I was going to say, like, the evolution of that, right? It was, at first, like, person says this, or person denies this, and then, like, the slow evolution of that in headlines, because, unfortunately, a lot of people just read the headlines or, like, the few snippets. It was, like, person says this... with no evidence, right? Cites no evidence, which I think is like the evolution.
But do they even say that now?
Person says this, doesn't cite no evidence. Honestly, I'm going to pull up a different ink here. We're going to do Philip DeFranco at the same time. I know we've done him before, but like since they're both transitioning now, just for verification purposes, I think it'd be pretty cool. Because he's being very direct right now. He's also being responding, and then he's also being movement as well. And he's making some FITE statements. But he's talking about other people, SE and I, following a system, abstract, pragmatic for sure. So it's possible like he's like an INTJ mode while talking to her, while she's like an ENTP mode. So we'll see how that goes. Like, it's obvious these two have a golden pair, like straight up. But which side of the golden pair are they on? Because we're literally looking at a golden pair situation here with this relationship, which is pretty fun. So which one's the main? So we're gonna have to probably separate
each other.
Yeah,
they're pulling each other all over the place.
Yeah,
basically.
like when she's talking about objective truth, that's like super TEFI for sure. It's trying to figure out like, what's the main point. Like she's dressed like an NE user. She's definitely dressed like, and she is pragmatic by saying like, make America great again. That's not like really an affiliative approach at all, because that's not the general narrative. And she's constantly abstracting. So,
yeah. One thing I will note is when we were seeing ENTP from her earlier, it wasn't nearly as authentic. Like she was being playful with it, for
exactly.
Sure. So I don't necessarily think that's her ego. I would probably look more towards that being another side.
Yeah. Yeah. Heather Bryant, she made, so Heather Bryant says, at someone random, she made a few references to her hair, but he did count it as SI originally. I think this is part of the problem with interpreting words literally. I think, TI. Yes, Heather Bryant, you are correct. Now, when you're doing cognitive axis analysis, you can actually interpret words correctly, but without cognitive axis analysis, you can't really do that. That's why you can't just say, like, I think, because that could be an FI statement. That could be a TI statement for sure. We're going to leave this interview up. Do you have the second interview available? Because I want to jump back and forth.
So it looks like the only time she's on YouTube is with him.
Okay.
So, yeah. There's another thing where she and Phil do kind of a Q&A, which might be better because they're not directly questioning each other.
Thank you, Wonka Vision, for pointing that out. Make America Think Again. It's kind of more of a TE critic approach, but fair enough. It is a TE pessimistic regardless. So on clothing and typology, we're actually going to be having that some visual typing stuff talked about in the CSJ conference this month for Ruby patrons for sure. So he's ENFP. No, he's not ENFP. Like, no. All right, no, he's not as cool as Raka. Sorry, definitely not. And she's not an INFJ either. All right, let's keep going. 1752.
I think
more?
Some places.
Yeah.
More places do. But I think...
But not in headlines, do they?
Yeah, in some. But the problem is a lot of the time it's places that all places at some point have been labeled fake news by a number of people.
So should we talk about what fake news is? Because in my opinion, it's lies with an intent to deceive.
Well, I mean, yeah. Okay, so
in my opinion, it's lies with an intent to deceive. That's a TE statement for sure. So when you have anyone talking about opinion, it's a TEFI, point of view, but that could also be like very pessimistic. And then like you have extrovert intuition coming into place. Okay, well, what's the intent behind that, right? So, all over the place when you're having a couple go at it like this, but it's fun. Let's keep going. So. All right, 18.
Do you think that the intent
fake
matters?
News, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. For my definition of fake news, there is an intent to deceive. It's not making a mistake.
Right.
People make mistakes, especially with how fast news spreads now.
Yeah.
And how entitled, and not in a bad way, but how conditioned people have become to get news like right as something happens.
Sure.
So it's like if they're not reporting on it on TV and in the mainstream news, people are gonna find that information somewhere else, whether it's real or not.
Yeah, I mean, you even saying that, it makes me...
Yeah, people are gonna find that whether it's real or not. Definitely SENI for sure. Let's keep going.
It makes me frustrated because I know that in the past, if someone made a mistake, I would just go for the throat.
Yeah.
And I think the longer that I did this, especially day in, day out, the more I realized, especially as you grow a team, as you're covering more and more, the chances for you to mess up on accident increase. But a huge chunk of people don't fucking care.
Yeah.
They don't care about the...
Very pragmatic. He's definitely an ENTP. Like he's constantly going all on the ENFP or the ENTP train, as far as I can tell. He's initiating new points. He's movement. He's even dressed like an ENTP. He was made a very pragmatic statement. He's talking about the system right now, and he's abstracting that system as he's talking about it. And honestly, we have more evidence for SENI and TEFI with a little bit of ENTP transition. Like, Raka, do you maintain, whenever she's pulling out ENTP, it's not as genuine as, her INTJ side?
Yeah, no, the only time we see her actually, start to initiate, and she said, it's always been playful, and it's always been to kind of poke jabs at him.
Yeah.
To be honest, like that's when we see her start to initiate, is when she wants to get a nice little jab in there, here or there. But when she's been when she's been authentic, when she's been talking about how she actually feels about things, you can tell she starts to get serious, and that's when we start to see more of the INTJ traits. So I would definitely lean towards INTJ over ENTP.
Yeah,
for her.
I'm definitely leaning that way too. Let's do a few more little bit here.
The intent aspect, they equate you to the worst thing.
Right.
So it's like,
intent really matters.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to call that out. And
the way that she's saying, like, so intent really matters, it's like a very NE Nemesis point of view, because like when she's talking about like fake news, you know, the way that she does, so she's like, you know, critiquing it with TI critic, right? I mean, this is like her TI-isms, it's very, very critical. I mean, this is a great example of like a TI critical approach, and then using the TE labels at the same time, you know, saying that these are what these people are doing, because she's not even talking about herself at this point, you know.
Yeah.
Again, going back to a lie. A lie is an intent to deceive. It's not a mistake.
So how do you compete though with, right now I feel like in our society, apologizing or acknowledging the mistake is almost more damaging.
Right? I know.
So acknowledging the mistake is all more damage. That's a TIFE statement on his point of view, and he is right. I mean, if you look at it, people using humility and apologizing, when you have a lot of broadcasters out there like Glenn Beck, who's an obvious ENFP, you know, and it's like, I don't want to like let down my audience, or, you know, people need to know that like I'm not a fraud, because I don't like actually have to be like good at something. I just have to have people think I'm good at something, because it's like a TE standpoint. They're not willing to take responsibility. And he's calling them out from a TI parent, iffy child point of view. Her response?
No, and that's like a problem with the culture that we see. It's like you can't
That's a problem with the culture that we see. That's an SE statement as well. And then that's also an FITE approach she's going to go into right here.
Recognize good journalists who are admitting their mistakes. Because like this is what we've seen.
Good journalists admitting their mistakes. That's an FITE statement.
This is also, yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say she's also being very systematic. Like I've been trying to, you know, kind of play the devil's advocate here a bit and see if I can't see anything else. But she's also talking about the system itself. That this is a society thing. This is how society works, basically.
She keeps abstracting it. So yeah, she's an NT. So anyway, bottom line, folks, we got to see some amazing cognitive transition. They have a golden pair. This is an INTJ ENTP couple. Lindsay DeFranco is an INTJ and Phil is an ENTP. So that was a lot of fun, guys. Please send more of those. I love that. Let's do more of that, please, in the future. So
who we got up next?
What's next?
Cool. Looks like Lindsay. No, not Lindsay. Lacey Sturm.
Okay. Lacey Sturm. All right. Hey, is the Super Chat channel in Discord like publicly viewable? Can we verify if it is or not?
Yep.
All right, cool. And can we? All right, so people can look in that Super Chat channel and see where their bids are in relation to other people's bids currently. Correct? Just trying to make sure. All right, cool. Yeah, awesome. If you're not already in our Discord, guys, you might want to get on our Discord at csjoseph.live/social. And then click on Discord, verify your phone, get on the server, and then you can look in our Super Chat channel and see like where your Super Chats are in relation to everybody else. Don't forget, you can also add additional Super Chats to add on to like what your bid was to increase it, in case you want to make sure that yours gets covered during the stream. We're just keeping track of all the Super Chats there, and like we're just leaving off from like the previous week as whatever's the highest, unless people want to outbid those, etc. So we're just going to keep going from there. So what's next, Mr. Mello? We're going to do some blue ink for this one.
Going with Lacey Sturm.
Interview is up in the chat.
How do I spell that? STURM, right? I hope.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Like I was
So
like.
Raka sent a link.
All right, I got it.
Cool.
All right. So, Lacey, we are so happy to have you here with us again. Yes, we're so excited. I don't know
so
how
Lacey's
many of you
on
were
the
here.
left.
Yep. She's like, oh, I'm happy. I'm like, okay. Was that initiating?
The singer of Flyleaf.
Oh, Lacey Mosley? Or interesting. Or she got married? Oh. Fair enough. We'll check it out. Let's do it.
When Lacey came and shared with us at Girl Talk in the past, she had actually just finished her book, The Reason, at that time. And that book, The Reason, your first book, was kind of really about how the Lord, your testimony, and how the Lord drew you really to himself through a series of hard circumstances, right? Some of these girls may not have been there for that. And before we dive into your new book, The Mystery, and kind of the story that you have there, can you tell us a little bit about your testimony and how about that?
Yeah, well, I talk a little bit about how I grew up. My mom was a...
Wow, that is so responding at 47 seconds. That is so responding. Do we have someone who's like behind the scenes on our hands here? Like, holy smokes. That's really responding. And like, that's like a very control oriented. She's SENI for sure. Look at those tattoos. Look at those hair. That's SENI, like hands down. And I want to say FITE. So I really want to say that. Like, but okay.
Right.
So let's keep going. But yeah, definitely. For sure. Gonna hit play at 47 seconds.
Single mom. She had my brother at 15 and me at 16, and we struggled financially. And
we struggled financially. It's an FITE statement. It's also SENI. We struggled financially. So we struggled SE financially TE FI. So SENI plus TFI in one sentence, folks. That's cognitive access analysis right there. We struggled financially. That's an SE memory with NI, and then TE statement, the financially component TEFI, SINE TFI right there. So let's hit play again at 56 seconds. You got any comments you want to say, Mr. Mello? Okay.
She would.
Yeah.
We had to.
Yeah, this like I'm leaning towards ISFP already. Like it's kind of,
yep.
But gonna hit play in 56 seconds now.
There was a time when there were 6 of us and no father around, so we struggled a lot, and we had to depend on God.
So we had to struggle a lot. We had to depend on God. It's SE and I and whatnot. There's nothing to eat. That's a TE statement because we didn't have much. She's very control, very responding, staying on it. Kind of informative with that last statement that she made there. Let's look at it again.
To feed us sometimes. My mom would pay the babysitter with the food stamps.
She is bringing up a few different things.
Say again?
So she is bringing up a few different things.
Okay. But it's all within the context of...
fair point.
Yeah, it's all within the context of the question. She's not going outside of the context. She's not initiating new context. So...
And we'd have to figure out what to do with
more context to the same thing, basically.
You know, she would try to pay the rent, and then she would have to pay the inspection sticker, and then get a ticket because she couldn't pay that, and it was just this cycle. And we had to depend on God to know where to live sometimes.
To know where to live sometimes. Again, that's FITE, SENI. So she's definitely SFP, NFJ Quadra. She's also very interest-based, so what she's saying, that's definitely what is. She's pragmatic, informative, responding, control. I mean, there's no point in going further. This woman is an ISFP. So there you folks have it, you know. Awesome. What's next?
Cool. Eric Weinstein on the latest Joe Rogan appearance.
Pulling it up now.
All right, no more super chats tonight, guys. No more super chats.
All right, dropping it in the channel.
Okay.
Done.
All right, awesome.
Good to go.
Eric Weinstein, the Joe Rogan Experience. Awesome. Gotta love my ads. Gotta love my ads. Do you approve of President Trump?
Very important.
All right, find me the timestamp to go as I write his name in here. Eric Weinstein. Is this guy like related at all to like that one Weinstein guy that like went down pretty hard for like weird?
Let's go with 50 seconds.
50 seconds, 50 seconds. Got it.
Yep.
Doing it in 50 seconds. And hold on. I got 57 and hitting play now.
Blazing Saddles with
sure, Mel Brooks.
Yeah, Mel Brooks, and
Harvey Korman character was Hedley Lamar, and everyone would call him Hedy Lamar, and that was like the running joke in the picture.
Well, that's right. I fucking loved Mel Brooks movies.
Do you remember the Yiddish-speaking Indians? That had to be the best.
Oh yeah, that's right. He had some great movies, man. There's fun fucking movies, man. Just silly, fun,
ESTP,
outrageous movies.
Yeah, I mean, he was transitional, right? I guess it was the Borscht Belt being updated for the modern era.
Yeah, into film. Yeah, but it was also, you know, for the time, much more contemporary, but with that sort of Borscht Belt sort of shticky sort of.
Right, in the writer's room, I guess from Sid Caesar's Show of Shows, was this legendary factory before Saturday Night Live.
That was initiating. He initiated a completely new point right there. So kind of seems control and seems direct. I'm going to say direct initiating control for now, guys, but see if you can verify a different interaction style for him.
Sure. Will do. Can I just say that if you close your eyes, it's hard to tell these two apart?
I know, right? It's really hard, for sure. Okay, so there we go. Hit and play at 151.
Live for all of these kind of crazy talents behind the scenes. I think he came out of that with Carl Reiner.
Oh, that makes sense. How old is Mel Brooks now?
I don't want to ask the question because maybe something will happen.
I know, right? It's one of the. I think I saw.
I don't want to ask the question because I think something may happen. Oh wow. Okay. I can't really say for sure as to which one that is because I can interpret it in multiple ways, but that was a good statement.
I saw recently that he turned 93, and I thought, shit, is he dead? Like Mel Brooks, you know, because they were saying all these great things. Mel Brooks. I'm like, fuck, did we lose Mel Brooks? But it's like one of those things where, it's gonna happen. I mean, he's 93.
I know, but every time it does,
I know.
I mean, I guess Betty White is another one of these people.
Right.
So that's interest. We need this. Yeah. We need these very exotic links to our past.
Very interest. That's also TIFE and that's SENI for sure. Talking about other people in that regard, invoking Betty White as well. But he's not doing it in a TEFI statement. And you're right. I can't really tell the difference between the two of them. I'm having a hard time as well. It's like, wow. I mean, like I'm not getting starter type out of this guy, but at least try to prove starter type. Try, Raka, try. Try hard.
I can make an argument for anything, but man.
Yeah, there you go, folks. TI Trickster. I can make an argument for anything. Don't worry. I could sell the gum off my shoe. Don't worry. You'll want to buy it when I'm done. I know, right? I'm hitting play on 232 now.
Right. And so we need these very exotic links to our past, and they become more important as time goes on if they're still vital, because we want desperately to be connected to something before our current era.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, Mello. We want so desperately to connect to anything. So that's SENI, but that's NI inferior, right? Like,
yeah. It's I don't know, like I'm trying not to like argue ESTJ here. It's weird because as both these guys talk, like you can see that they're kind of like forcing each other in transitions. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
like come on,
but man. They're approaching like. Basically, what keeps happening is they're just playing ping pong. Like one person makes a statement, the other person replies, initiates a new point, passes it back, and it's like one point at a time. Just a direct response back to you, direct response, new topic back to you.
Yeah,
over and over again.
Over and over. A literal game of ping pong. LOL. Yeah, and if he's being abstract, it's a cognitive transition. It's like we're literally watching Joe Rogan interview talking with famous people, just saying, Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Get me another...
Joe Rogan interviewed himself one time.
Wow, that's kind of like...
snippeted. And the reason I bring this up is because I'm just listening, and it sounds just like that video. Like, it just sounds like that, but it's a different guy this time.
Yeah, we're gonna Meta S says skip forward a bit. That's what I'm gonna do. Gonna go to 1:15:14.
Okay, sounds good.
Your face is your moneymaker.
Your face
so why would you
is
pair it
your
with cheap plastic?
moneymaker.
Format, and it's always a
Says the
different context.
ISFP.
And I came to believe that this story is actually this unkept promise for most people, that in their adult lives, they don't find these portals. So, for example, have you ever been to Barcelona, Spain?
Have you ever been to Barcelona, Spain? So direct initiating control in there. It's like he's trying so hard to abstract, but he can't. He's trying hard, but he can't. Oh my gosh. And he's so interest based, so okay. Is he affiliated for pragmatic? I'm getting more pragmatic here, but come on, man. I don't want to say ESTP just in protest over it. You know what I'm saying? I am in protest here. I don't want to say ESTP. I don't want to. You can't make me. Oh man.
Yeah, I'm trying to disprove it, but he just keeps direct initiating control, interest statement.
Get me a new interview without Joe Rogan or an ESTP, please. Please. 'Cause this is painful. This is so painful right now. My goodness.
Oh man, that's great.
Because he's not movement. He's this guy is direct initiating control. I don't care. I don't care what anyone says. This guy is direct initiating control. He is a structure type. He's got the hair to prove it. Just kidding. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not seeing it here. So find me another interview. You got one?
Yeah, I got one right now.
Thank God. Thank God.
All right, let's see here.
Uncle Chatterico Consulting says, hope you're well,
The following
CSJ.
is a conversation with Eric Weinstein. He's a
In before
mathematician,
Lex
economist,
Fridman is
physicist,
an
and the
ESTP
managing
as well.
director of
I know,
Teal
right?
Capital. He coined the term, and you can say is the founder
Oh my
of
gosh.
the intellectual
Tell this
dark
Ben
web.
Shapiro clone to shut up. 13 seconds in. Oh, thank you. Thank you. All right, I got some tea from Railgun. Oh, awesome. All right, so I'm 13 seconds in. I'm going to go to 2 minutes and 38 seconds because I can. Gosh, he's still got the hair. I mean, if he just shaved that hair off, it'd be literally looking like a clone of Joe Rogan. You know what I'm saying? All right, I'm hitting play on 238 now.
There's a small number of Tom Lehrer songs that broke into the general population. Poisoning Pigeons in the Park, the Element Song, and perhaps the Vatican Rag.
Mm-hmm.
So when you meet somebody who knows those songs but doesn't know...
Oh, you're judging me right now, aren't you?
Harshly.
Oh, you're judging me right now, aren't you? The ISTJ in the room.
Oh, that's great.
Because that guy's an ISTJ. He's literally a clone of Ben Shapiro. So we got mini Ben Shapiro talking to mini Joe Rogan
Mini
right
Joe
now.
Rogan. if you close your eyes, you can
I know,
still hear
right? I
Joe
know.
Rogan.
Oh my gosh, that is so he's still direct initiating control. That was an SE and I statement. That was also TIFE. Holy smokes, it's concrete AF. Let's hit play some more. I hope this ESTP roasts this ISTJ for us. Let's see what happens.
No, but you're Russian, so undoubtedly you know Nikolai Ivanovich Lobachevsky, that song.
Yes. Yeah.
So that was a song about plagiarism that was in fact plagiarized.
SE, and that's the thing about plagiarism, which was in fact plagiarized. TIFE, SENI. Come on, man. Come on. No.
Which most people don't know, from Danny Kaye. Where Danny Kaye did a song called Stanislavski of the Musky Arts.
Yes, Flash. Ben Shapiro is an ISTJ. I think we actually have a whole episode dedicated to that. Ben Shapiro is an ISTJ, and a dirty ISTJ at that. Let's be honest. So hitting play at 3 minutes and 12 seconds.
And so Tom Lehrer did this brilliant job of...
Why would I do Bill Burr, the ISTP? Why would I do that? Probably because I don't want to laugh my ass off.
plagiarizing a song about and making it about plagiarism, and then making it about this mathematician who worked in non-Euclidean geometry. That was like giving heroin to a child. It was extremely addictive, and eventually led me to a lot of different places, one of which may have been a PhD in mathematics.
One of which, wow, what this guy just said like made absolutely no sense. But I can say for a fact it was interest-based. Holy smokes. Very interest-based. Cognitive transition. All right. Hit and play on 335.
And he was also at least a lecturer in mathematics, I believe, at Harvard, something like that.
At Harvard, because
I just had dinner with him, in fact.
I just had dinner with him. In fact, you could just see like how smiley he was, just like my old ESTP mentor was so smiley with that SE hero in that regard.
This ESTP just really wants to light into this ISTJ.
Yeah, he really does. Yeah,
you can see.
Yeah, like, yeah, no. I don't like Ben Shapiro, because Ben Shapiro, guys, like, he's one of those people that's willing to be a total sellout if it just makes him look good. Like, he's all about my status. I don't really care. My status, my agenda, and he doesn't really care so much about the facts. Like, he's willing, like this guy, he's literally like, hey, man, you know, as long as I look good, I don't actually have to be like good. I don't actually have to be good, but as long as I look good, as long as people think I'm good, like, I'm good, guys. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm like here, you know, ISTJ protecting my conservative narrative while I make lots of money doing it. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, okay, yeah, okay, thank you, Ben Shapiro. Thank you, Benny. You know, would I ever want to like shake your hand? Like, ever? Like, no. And do I care, you know, about your right wing or your leftist agendas? You know, I don't really give a damn about that anyway. Because like from like a political standpoint, it's like, yeah, bro. I don't think anyone like actually cares, because Effie Child definitely knows. Like, yeah, no one cares, Mr. Ben Shapiro. No one cares.
This literally went into how to type to who triggered CSJ in like 30 seconds.
Ben Shapiro just triggers me so hard. Like he triggers me so hard. I can't listen to him, and it's not because, you know, the typical people who are like, oh, it's the sound of his voice. You know, it's like, no, it's not that at all. It's really more like, yeah, Benji, I'm sorry to say, but you're boring. Sorry. You know? It's not gonna happen. No. Anyway, this guy is STP NFJ Quadra. He's cognitive transitioning to his NFJ subconscious. So yeah, and he's recognition and control. He's an ESTP. Eric Weinstein, the ESTP. Yeah, there we go. Or we're just gonna put ourselves out of our own misery here. All right, so
Joe Rogan.
I know, right? Like that, you could guarantee that Joe was like super happy that he was high on that podcast, because it's probably the only way he was able to get through that, because he was literally interviewing himself the entire time. You know what I'm saying? Like, like holy smokes, you know, like Shapiro inhales helium on a daily basis.
Who do we got next, Mello?
Yeah. What's next, man?
Cool. Tamera Mowry-Housley. We'll send it in the chat.
Awesome. Thanks. I think it's going to be our last one, guys. But don't worry, we're going to continue on the super chats the next week. We keep track of all the super chats, and just remember, if you get outbid with your super chat, we're just going to keep going down the list, and that means we're probably going to end up having like 100+ super chats one day in a spreadsheet that we're keeping track of, and we'll just keep on going because people have paid for them. But if people pay higher than what's been paid, well, they're going to get priority. So if you know what I'm saying, so we're just going to keep track of the super chats and keep it going. You know, so. If you guys want a super chat, you know, hopefully it's above what the current highest is. What's the current high price we got right now, Mr. Mello? Just to tell the audience.
Besides this one, highest price next is Paul Rennick, $15.
$15. All right, cool. So, like, you know, just so you guys know, if you want to get like first in line for the next episode, you know, you just got to get like super chat above $15. You're good to go. So we're gonna do one more, and that's gonna be it for the night for this particular stream. So, Mr. Mello, what do we got here? Gonna check the channel.
Raka sent a video.
Awesome.
Yep.
Thank you.
My prescriptions used to be
All
really
right.
expensive.
I'm going to learn about expensive prescriptions right now within this ad that's 15 seconds long. LOL.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Oh, you're also learning about expensive prescriptions. Amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
Oh, yeah.
It's like...
Projectile pooped on me.
Okay, wow.
Well, you see, you could save even more money. So, yeah, there's that.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Hey, beautiful. So, all right, cool. All right, so I'm going to hit play at 2 seconds on Tamera Mowry-Housley's postpartum intervention, mom to mom, on E! News. Throwback to my childhood. One day, someone's going to pay us to type Tamira Gray from American Idol. You know it. Like, it's going to happen. All right, hitting play now. 2 seconds.
It was in the dark. I heard it went everywhere.
You got pooped on in your face.
And I did not shower. Motherhood.
Wow. Oh my God.
All right.
Okay.
I can't
What
unknow
the hell was that? Was that like ESFP in your face or what? Because that was pragmatic AF.
Oh my God. Well, that's something I know now.
Yeah, thank you, Raka, for joining us and getting educated on this sort of.
It is full of unexpected moments, and sometimes you just need a drink, a laugh, and a girlfriend who's been there. This is Mom to Mom.
You know her from The Real, and today we're getting real about motherhood. We are. Tamera Mowry-Housley. Hi, guys. Thank you for being here.
I feel so honored. This
Have
is
a mimosa?
So cool.
Yes.
Cardi B.
You have two adorable little ones.
Yes, I do.
Araya
Adorable little
and
ones.
Aiden. Did you actually feel the difference between being pregnant with a boy versus being pregnant with a girl?
Yes.
You did.
Because you have girl-like hormones. So the estrogen is
okay.
on fire. And I was really emotional. And girl, you gain weight in places that I never knew.
Girl, you gain weight in places. That's an SENI statement. It's also informative. She also initiated that point, and she's movement as hell. This is very starter type, like for sure. Gonna hit play.
You can gain
So hitting play at 57 seconds.
when you have a girl. Like my eyelids got fat.
Like
my
eyelids
nose, I don't
got
think
fat.
really spread
Okay,
with my
initiating.
son. But the myth is when you have a girl, your nose spreads or something like that. And I was like,
Form initiating
oh,
movement.
I held it together all the way
CNI.
until like almost up to her due date. I mean, literally, it started getting bigger. And just for me, the second was harder to lose the weight.
All right, so hold on. We know it's SENI. We also know she's a starter type. The only SENI user that's a starter type is ESFP. So we basically already have it. Congratulations.
Well, I mean, okay, so hear me out here, because I think she is concrete, but for the sake of argument, I want to say is that SE demon because she has no clue what the experience she's given to anybody with those SENI statements.
All right. We'll verify. Raka's calling in for T-Child verification. Let's do it. The Rock and Raka asking for verification. Let's skip ahead to, let's see, 411. Skipping ahead to 411. Hit and play. Go.
I'm young though.
No.
Yeah, no.
Any gross moments that you can remember?
Please. I was with
More gross
Aiden.
moments.
First time mom. I
was
forgot
with Aiden.
the diaper bag.
I forgot the diaper egg. Okay, that's two SE statements, you know.
Yeah, no, I'm
Yeah.
with you. And she could have abstracted, but she didn't. She's just talking about
She
the
did
past.
not
still.
abstract it. So yeah, ESFP, Mr. Raka, ESFP. There you go.
Those SE heroes, man.
Yeah, SE
Give
heroes.
SE
All
demon a run
right.
for his
Hold
money.
on. Let's talk about the differences between different types here. So we have Leanne Litzenberger say AOC is the same type as her. I just don't see it. Hold on. So let's say you have an ESFP, but you have different ESFPs and different foci, different foci, etc. So look at Joe Rogan versus Eric Weinstein. We just watched two ESTPs in an interview with each other. So Eric Weinstein, he's INFJ focused as an ESTP, so slightly behaving differently than Joe Rogan, but Joe Rogan is more ISTJ focused. So remember, like, regardless of what type you are, you could be like focused in more of your subconscious or focused more into your unconscious, which gives you a little bit of a variation on top of what ego you are. Or you can be very ego focused, which we know a few ego focused people, etc. So just so you guys know, that's kind of like a thing. So be aware of that with people, you know, and then like, and by the way, speaking of Cardi B, I don't know if you guys knew this, but like Railgun like showed me like the most amazing Cardi B meme ever. And I'm going to tell it to you right now, Raka, because like, yeah, Railgun's in the room with me right now. She's like, oh, but like apparently according to the meme, I learned that Cardi B actually had a cameo in Toy Story 3 because, you know, Toy Story 4 is out right now. But then Cardi B had a cameo in Toy Story 3. And it had in the photo of her cameo, and she was circled on screen, you know, in Toy Story 3, in scene in Toy Story. And you know what it was? It was a trash bag.
Yep.
It was the greatest meme ever.
Is she credited for that in the movie?
She credited for that in the movie. T Child, is she credited in the movie for that trash bag?
No, you realize how funny that would be? Like, literally, you're watching the credits, and it's like, trash bag, Cardi B.
LOL. All right, folks. Thanks for joining us tonight. We had really good viewership. I think we broke 140 people this evening. That's fantastic. Even though we started like an hour and a half late. Thank you for encouraging me to start later, folks. I really appreciate it. That was cool. But anyway, it's good to see you all. I think we got Q&A coming up on Thursday night. So we'll see you guys on Thursday night. I'm not going to be around tomorrow night. I'm going rowing with Railgun. And it's going to be amazing and awesome and stuff. And so, yeah, I'm glad that my headache was able to mostly disappear for this live stream. I had some food, had some other stuff, you know, to help me get through it. So it's pretty good. And Railgun's been a big help. We had pho for dinner. Definitely flank steak pho. It was the dopest. So anyway, thank you, Rock and Rocka, and thank you, Mr. Mello. As always, you guys are dope co-hosts, and I'll see you gentlemen next time, hopefully Thursday night, 9 Eastern, for our Q&A session. Otherwise, folks, thanks for coming. Thanks for the super chats. We really love the support, and got some more lectures coming. Don't forget, right now we're doing season 19 and I think season 23 for Patreon Private, which are how to cognitive develop yourself and develop each of the types to reach maturity, reach happiness, and how to develop and become more advanced version, the Ubermensch version of your type. And we're also going to be doing like seduction, how to seduce the types or seduction styles for the types as well, coming in the very near future. And I believe we also have an email lecture coming out this week or next week, I'm not sure. And it's how the cognitive transitions for the ESTP type as well for season 22, which is available only through our email list. If you are not on our email list, get on our email list, folks. And you do that by going to csjoseph.life and just waiting 30 seconds for the pop-up to show up and put in your email address and you're good to go. And there is my alarm. So with that being said, folks, you have a good night.